Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, All Things Tonya. If you're stopping by for the very first time on my channel, I love creating fun, easy, and affordable DIYs. Today I'm showing you 3 of my favorite tiered trays, reminding you how easy they are to create, decorate, and beautify your home. I hope you enjoyed today's video and will consider subscribing to my channel because I would love to have you here creating fun and easy DIYs with me. Now this first tier tray I made and decorated for winter time last year, but as you can see, you can remove all of the items and make this a year-round tier tray and decorate it any way you see fit. So let's get started with this first tier tray. For my tiered tray, I will be using these 21-inch paint sticks that I picked up from Home Depot. I will also be using the 12-inch paint sticks that I picked up from Home Depot. And I will be using this 6-inch piece of wood that I had left over from a previous project. For this project, I will be cutting the handles off of my paint sticks, and they will end up being around 14 inches long. And then I will be cutting the handles off the smaller paint sticks, and they will be around 9 inches long. I will be using a total of 7 of the larger paint sticks and 7 of the smaller paint sticks. To attach the sticks, I will be using pieces of the paint sticks that I removed, and I will be using my hot glue gun. This is what the board will look like once it's all glued together. Next, I will be using the wood tumbling blocks that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I will be using it to border my tier tray. Now that I am sure that my blocks will fit around my tray, I'm going to use my hot glue gun to glue them all down. As you can see here, I'm gluing one on at a time, and I am just going around the edges of the board. I will continue to glue on one tumbling block at a time until I have made my way around the entire board. Look how nice and neat this is turning out. I am really loving how this is coming together. And I'm going to repeat this same process using the smaller paint sticks for the top of my tiered tray. To glue the smaller paint sticks together, I will be using the larger craft sticks, and I also picked these up from Home Depot. And I will be using these because the paint sticks are much smaller and thinner, and the craft sticks will hold them together better. Now the top of my tiered tray is all glued together. I left a space here because this is where I will be attaching the 6-inch piece of wood to the top and bottom trays. I'm also going to use the wood tumbling blocks for the smaller tray, and this is what it looks like when I have completed it. And now I am going to use my Waverly antique wax, and I'm going to stain both trays and the 6-inch piece of wood. Although I'm applying the wax using a brush and it's giving a dark tone, I am not going to leave it this way. I will be using some wet paper towels to wipe off the excess because I want these trays to have a lighter tone. Here I am using the wet paper towels to lighten the tone of the wax. As you can see, the more I wipe, the lighter it gets. So I'm going to continue going in with this wet paper towel until I achieve the look that I'm going for. And here are all 3 pieces, all nice and dry. Look how beautiful this tone is. I am really loving it. And now I'm going to use my hot Gorilla glue sticks that I picked up from Walmart to attach all 3 pieces. Everything is coming together so nicely. I am loving how this is turning out. I cannot wait to add the finishing touches. I want to add a distressed look to my trays, so I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint color plaster, and I'm going to dry brush a few spots on my trays, and I'm going to sand it down a little to give it a little worn look. And here's the finished look after I have sanded down. I have achieved the look that I was going for. And now it is time for me to make all of my little items that will go on my tray. For my first shelf sitters, I will be using these two houses from the Dollar Tree, this plaid paper that I printed from the internet, and these two pieces that I cut from scrapbook paper. What I'm going to do first is remove the backs from the houses because I want the paper to go in neatly. So I am going to remove the backs, and then I'm going to use my Waverly antique wax and a wet paper towel, and I'm going to stain the wood houses. I'm not using too much of the wax. I only want the stain to be a little darker than the original color. Next, I'm going to use the backings, and I am going to trace around the house shape, and I am going to cut it out and use my glue stick to glue them on the front. Now these little small pieces came from some scrapbook paper that I previously had in my stash, and I just cut out some pieces that I like and that I thought went with this plaid. I am just going to glue them right on the front. This is a very easy shelf sitter to make. All I'm going to do now is glue the front and the back together again. The makeover of these little houses are so cute. I think they are so adorable. Now this is not necessarily a DIY. I am just going to use these trees as part of the decoration on my tiered trays. At first I was thinking of scraping off the silver color on the back, but once I turned the ornaments over, there was such a beautiful wood look. I decided to just go with that, cut off the strings, and just add them to my trays. I did want the trees to be able to stand alone once I added them to the tray, so I am going to attach one of the wood tumbling blocks from the Dollar Tree to the back. Here I'm just using some of my antique wax to stain the blocks that I put on the back of the trees, just so that they won't stand out with the light color. Here I am going to be using one of the little white candles from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut a strip of the plaid paper to go around the candle to match the look of the houses. I will be using my glue stick to glue the paper to the candle, and I will be using this jute twine that I picked up from the Dollar Tree to wrap around the candle and make a bow. I am adding these items to my tier tray as I go. I cannot wait for the big reveal. I think you're going to love this one, guys. For this DIY, I will be using this tiny little crate that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I will be using my Waverly antique wax to stain it. I removed the long jute twine that was hanging from the top of it, and then I'm going to cut that jute twine in half to make smaller handles for the side. Next, I used my Cricut to cut out the vinyl word pine cones, 5 cents, and then I attached it to my crate. And then I will be using these pine cones that I picked up from Dollar General. I think they were around $2, and I will be filling my crate. My garland was the last small little DIY item that I needed to add to my tier tray. I'm going to use a few pieces of greenery to fill in the empty spaces. And then I am going to reveal my first tier tray. I really love it, and I hope you guys love it too. To create my beautiful tier tray, I will be using these 2 burner covers that I picked up from the Dollar Tree for $1.25, and of course my wood tumbling blocks. It is great that the burner covers come into different sizes, one small and one large, which is perfect for a tier tray. I did not want this shiny white color to be a part of my tier tray, so I am going to use my Waverly chalk paint colored ink, and I will be painting both of the covers, the front as well as the back. The chalk paint is really attaching to this thin tin, so I basically only have to use 1 coat of the paint, but I did go in to retouch some areas once it dried because I did not want any of that white to show through. Now, of course, I am going to paint over the top of these because, as you guys know, I love for my projects to have a finished look, so I am going over the top of these as well. Before attaching my wood tumbling blocks, I'm going to use several pieces of scrapbook paper. It's at the end how you can use the tier tray for different holidays or just to decorate your home just by switching out the scrapbook paper in the top tray. And it's just as simple as cutting out a circle that's going to fit in the top tray. Now I'm going to start gluing on my tumbling blocks one at a time, and I'm using my Gorilla Glue sticks from Walmart. I think this is the simplest tier tray that I have made using wood tumbling blocks. It is so easy. All you do is apply the glue, then attach the block. It is just that easy. I was really excited when I saw how this was actually turning out. I wasn't sure at first that I was going to be able to pull it off, but I really like it. I really like how it turned out. So I hope you like it too. So keep watching. I think you're going to be really surprised at the end. As you can see here, I'm almost finished with the top. It's going to take a total of 40 of the tumbling blocks for the top and 49 for the bottom. This is what the top looks like once it is all finished. I have them all glued on, all 40 blocks. Look how neat and pretty this is, guys. I'm really loving it. I cannot wait to add the stain so you guys can see how pretty it's going to be. But before I start to stain, I'm going to add my 49 blocks to my bottom cover, and then I will stain both of them at the same time. I was excited to put in this last block because I was so ready to put my tier tray together and decorate it. Here's what the both of them look like, all completed. Look how neatly done they are. I think I did a great job. I'm so happy with them. So now I'm going to quickly stain them, attach them, and decorate them. I cannot wait for you to see the end results. Because I want my stain to be a little darker than the antique wax alone, I'm going to mix my Waverly chalk paint colored ink and my Waverly antique wax together as I did in previous projects, and that will give me the darker wood tone. I'm going to use some water just to thin out the paint a little. I do not want it to go on too thick. I sometimes use wet paper towels to thin out the paint once I apply it with my paintbrush, but this time I'm just going to add water to achieve that look. Another thing I like about adding the water to the paint is when you apply it using your paintbrush, it really dries quickly. So that is a plus, especially when you really want to complete your project in a hurry. I'm going to flip it over and paint the other side, and then I'm going to repeat the same process with the larger one. I took 10 tumbling blocks and I glued them together into 2 rows just like this, and then I took a set of 5 and glued them to the front. I made 2 of these and I am going to glue them together, and I am going to use this to attach my 2 trays. Now I'm going to use some hot glue, and I'm going to apply a little to the bottom and place it in the center of my larger tray, and then I'm going to apply some more glue to the top of the tumbling blocks and attach my smaller tray. Now here's where I'm going to show you how I will be using the scrapbook paper cutouts to decorate my tray differently for holidays or just for regular home decor. As you can see here, I'm using one for a country farmhouse kitchen, and then I have another for the fall, and the possibilities are just endless. You can keep switching them out to match whatever occasion you like. This one is one of my favorite because I created some other tier tray decorative pieces to go along with this one, so make sure you watch all the way to the end. This completes this DIY, guys. I really hope you love my tier tray as much as I do and the different ways that I decorated it. I will be using 4 of these large paint sticks that I picked up from Home Depot, and I will be using 6 of these pallets that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I will be using 3 of the pallets for the bottom shelf of the tier tray, 2 for the middle, and 1 for the top. To connect the pallets, I will be using Gorilla Glue sticks in my hot glue gun, and then for reinforcement, I will be adding a few tumbling blocks to the back of the pallets. Now that I have all of the pieces for my tier tray, I am going to start to paint. I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint color Moss, and I'm going to paint the paint sticks using this color, and then I'm going to use my Waverly antique wax to paint the pallets. I'm going to apply the wax using my paintbrush, and then I'm going to use some wet paper towels to wipe away the excess. Now that I have all of my pieces painted, it's time to start gluing everything together. I'm going to start by gluing the paint sticks together first, and then I'm going to add the pallets. To make sure that the paint sticks are the same distance apart on both sides, I'm just going to place the other two on top of the others that I have glued together already, and then glue those two pieces. Now it's time to attach my pallets to my paint sticks, and I will be attaching the two using some wood tumbling blocks. I will glue one side of the tumbling block to the palette and the other side to the paint stick. Now I'm going to repeat the same process for the other two shelves using the wood tumbling blocks to attach the pallets to the paint sticks. Now this is what my tier tray is looking like so far. All I need to do now is close up the other side, and then we can begin to decorate our tier tray. This was the hardest part for me, I think, because I was trying to be so precise. So I decided to hold the tier tray up with one hand, add glue to the tumbling blocks, and then attach them to the palette and the paint sticks. Once I got all the pieces glued together on the bottom shelf, the rest was very easy. It was so much easier to add the tumbling blocks once the tray was able to stand on its own. Now here's my completed tier tray. I really love how it turned out. I even love the colors that I chose. The two colors together are so perfect. I really love it. I also made a tier tray just like this one for Valentine's Day. It was white, and I had a lot of little red and white decor added to my tray, and I thought it turned out beautifully. So if you haven't checked out that video, you may want to go check that one out as well. Next, I'm going to use this picture frame and this rub-on pack to create another decorative piece for my tier tray. I'm going to use a small piece of this poster board to use for my backing for my rub-on. I'm going to find the wording that I like, cut it out, and then add it to the poster board. Once I've added my rub-on to the poster board, all I have to do is reattach the frame and my picture is completed. Now let me show you my decorated tiered tray. All right, my friends, that is all that I have for you tonight. I truly hope you were inspired by my tier trays and ready to create one of your own. Remember, if this is your first time stopping by, I hope you enjoyed tonight and will consider subscribing to my channel. Once you subscribe, do not forget to hit that notification bell because you do not want to miss out on these fall videos that I will be uploading very soon. Please do not forget to like this video by giving it a thumbs up, leave a comment for me, and share this video with your friends because that really helps to support the growth of my channel. Here are 2 other videos. I hope you will enjoy them as well. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye, guys.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on my mommy's channel.